A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Do not forget to subscribe. Just thought I'd do a video actually. I was just sitting here working my way around the car, finishing out the paintwork, just finishing the paintwork, not chopping into it before anyone panics, just finishing it with a very ultra fine finishing compound, a soft pad, just because I felt it needed it. Certain bits of the car as well just need tidying up. And I thought how lucky I am to be able to polish with the setup that I've got. And this obviously isn't a perfect setup. It's not a professional level studio with lifters and all of that, but it's a very, very privileged kind of thing to have the garage here. And I was just thinking about how I really value being organised kind of when I'm polishing. And some other things that have gone through my head is I forgot how good these soft cloths are for when you're polishing. This format, this open pile format, I moved away from it because I never wanted to just use a couple of cloths. So the best thing to do when you're polishing an entire car is cycle cloths often. So I've used 3 cloths for one side of the car. I'll use another 3 for the other side, and but I'll get through about 10 cloths. And then just so use them, and once you've gone through all your different sides, put them over here, and then wash those together on their own on a nice sort of 30 or 40 degree wash with a tiny amount of liquid non-bio just to get the polishing oils out. And then just keep your nice pile of microfiber all good and look after it. And then that's a really important thing. In terms of these polishers as well, just sprang into my head how elite these polishers are, and doing all this cordless stuff right here and having all your power. This setup with these 3 cordless machines is just absolutely phenomenal. You could minimize it one more because you could put the 3-inch plate on the flex and then you wouldn't need the Rupes, but this HLR 75 has a lot more power than this. This is more a nano tool that you can just about do a bit of polishing with, but this tool, you can't use the spot pads with it, but it has a lot more power. So it's almost like using a corded 3-inch mini. In fact, to me it is. And using this tool, I keep the original trigger on there. I just like the original trigger. I've just got the hang now of the ergonomics of this tool, and I'll set it down this way, and I'm used to now turning the power off with it. So I've got used to that, how to use that, which just took me a little bit of time because I was forever like putting it down like this or maybe knocking the tool over, and now I know how to I know what I'm doing with it. But this is a really good tool. I'll do a little demo with it. But this tool is so handy for the quick release kind of system, and to be able to pop over to this adapter which will go straight in there, and then you can put a cone piece on, which pretty much I'll use for getting in places like that. And if I ever need to get into there, I could do. I don't really need to, I could just buff that with the 1-inch mini on the top and just a little hand buff, and that's fine. But on cars where you're correcting it, if it was all swirled up in there and you're working to high standards, then this little adapter tool, APS, Amaran sells it. I think Flex do them now as well. Pops in there. So yeah, really good tool this is, and it comes with a little sanding daisy as well. And I've got all the extension bars for it. Very good. All this elite kind of equipment just really makes it good. You do need your little inspection torch just to have a look. The discerning ones amongst you. Oh, before we go on to that, tape as well. This new Geon tape is really fantastic. It's smoother on this surface, so it just doesn't, when you polish over it, you don't feel like you're fluffing up that kind of masking tape fluffy feel. It doesn't have that. It's a smoother kind of tape, which is really cool. The Rupes claw tool, useful for just brushing out the pad after every single set. S40, fantastic top drawer kind of abrasive for finishing cars with. Really beautiful, really beautiful. Why haven't I got my panel wipe out for inspecting? If I look at it under highlight and I see a scratch, then that might be a problem. If I can't see the scratch after I've polished and buffed, then it's, if I can't see it then, it's not something that I'm going to be worried about, because the car's always going to have protection on it. So if I can't see it, it's not really, basically not there. Perhaps inspection, if you're taking out a car that's full of swirls and you're chopping it away and you want to make sure you've got that out, then panel wipe, you know, a panel wipe down, so you get a real true representation would be good. Or the other argument is on your final polishing set, you do a panel wipe down to inspect on that last set before you put down a ceramic coating or a sealant, whatever. But for me, what I'm going to be probably doing is S40ing the rest of the car. And this might sound bizarre. This might sound really bizarre. I'm either going to put a durable wax on it or a sealant. And you'd think with the sealant that I should really be degreasing to get the maximum out of the sealant. And maybe I should. But just from what I've seen, this goes against all the detailing rules, I'm not sure if it makes an incredible difference. At least for me, with how I look after this car, because I'm forever messing around with it. So even if it did max out the durability, and it's good practice to do that, I'm not going to do it because I'm so worried about touching this paint and buggering around with it and hitting it with panel wipe after I've gone through and I've got it like where I want it. That's just my priority, and that's just me. But yeah, that probably isn't like a universally accepted bit of advice. The car's looking so good, actually. It's really looking good. Oh yeah, I mean, there's not like heavy light shining on this, like, you know, they look the best out in the sun where you've got light blasting down on it. I've got these dodgy old lights, but look at that jetting light on there. It is really looking sweet. I've done that side of the roof and just left a little bit of polish residue so I know where I can polish up to. You can see it there. It's my little thing. I just leave a little bit of polish in the middle so I know where I've gone up to. You can see it there. Yeah, so really good with these tooling. Most of my work, or most of the polishing I do, is done with the XCE, the forced rotation. For me, it's a real personal thing. It won't mean because you're using that tool that you can do better work than someone using any other tool. It doesn't work like that. It's really down to your discipline, I think, and your process, and, you know, really just when you're polishing, just spending that time like we talked about. If you want to do it properly, and you don't always, it's going to sound weird, you don't always have the time to polish how we'd all like to polish. And the car you're polishing, regardless of what people say, it may not be appropriate to spend that amount of time on it. It's an interesting one, isn't it? An example of that is this car is worth for me to spend a bit more time on it to get it where I want, although I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Other cars, you know, other people don't live like lunatics where they're not, you know, they get to the stage where they don't want to touch the car. And that's not for everyone. And so sometimes just like a faster polish is perfectly good and gives you the best bang for your buck. And everyone does things differently and makes different decisions on everything, don't they? And that's because I'm just sort of thinking ahead, and I'm thinking of that Boxster out there. I'm going to work faster and I won't be so slow, and I won't be kind of finishing out probably to S40 level after cutting. I'll probably be either cutting and S20ing, or maybe heavy cut and S40. Might be two-stage, but anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, I think being organised is one of the keys. I can't work, well, I was about to say when there's crap all over the worktop, I've got all those bottles there. I can't work in a messy environment, like where there's just stuff everywhere. I just have to be organised, get settled in, get polishing, get every other job done, get everything out of your head, and just focus on the job at hand, and just go slow. The worst thing for me is if you're under time pressure, that just sort of creates a stress, and you just have to smash it out, and then that's not a nice feeling. Let's just talk about why this polisher is so cool. It's so cool for slightly tighter areas. So I've been using it for under there, and I've been using it for that kind of side skirt where you're not going to be able to polish it as well with something like that. I prefer using the 3" mini sometimes on this pillar if I mask up both sides to using the 1". The 1" I've cleaned all the pads off from yesterday, so I haven't used that yet today. The 1" will throw polish everywhere. The key with using the 1" is to use a lot less polish than you think and polish a much smaller area than you think. If you try to polish that whole area there, it's kind of like the equivalent of polishing an area that's about as wide as that other pad and, you know, even bigger in one go. And your likelihood of slinging is higher, so less polish. If you get your film of polish out at low speed and then just work it a bit slower than you think you need to. If you crank that up to speed 4 as well, top speed, your chances of flinging everywhere go up. I don't want to fling when I'm doing this because I've got every panel. I go through and do that panel and then make sure it's all, like, get the light on it and make sure I've got all the polish, then move on to the next one, which isn't always clever because the risk of flinging is always there. Another great thing about the force rotation is the risk of flinging is a lot lower. These sling less than a free spinner. This will sling more, but again, I can use this on a relatively low speed. So yeah, so if we just give that a little shake, these older bottles of Scholl Concepts with the older things on the top are not the easiest to kind of use. So we would put this here and hopefully you can see. I'll just see if that's in shot. Yeah, is that in shot? Where is it? There. Okay, we need to come up a bit. Hold on a second. Yeah. So you get a good shot of why these little mini polishers are so good. And I've just got to do this lower section as well. I could put the real thin tape on that, but as long as I wipe quickly, I'll be fine. We'll just spread it on a nice slow speed. We'll crank up to about speed 3. It's going to be enough. Just make sure that's tucked in. A little bit of pressure. Such a nice little tool to use this. Hopefully you get a good view of that. Just stalling out a bit there, but I'm not too worried. It's because it's compressing the pad. I'm just changing the angle so it doesn't stall. Could crank up a little bit, but that's fine. And we'll just go up here. And that will be fine. If we take our buffing cloth, we'll just sacrifice a side to get most of the polish off. So you can see it's a great dark grey polish. So it's not dirt on the cloth. So we just sacrifice that side now, and then we'll flip to a clean side. We'll get under here. Give this a good buff right there. Get all that oil out on that edge. I'm not putting too much pressure. If I catch a little bit, especially down here, if I catch a little bit of grit, it can mess everything up. You would think that that's got it all, but it's where you need the light. No, that's got it all. Oh no, it hasn't. Just a little bit there in the corner. Just on that top piece there, see it? sure I've got it right at the bottom. There we go. So now that's that section there and that section there polished. And now I move on to this section here. And yeah, there was just a tiny bit of lacquer overspray up here from the refinish. So I'm just going to tidy this rear wing section up, then move on to the, I'll mask up here and then do that side of the roof. And that'll be it today. And then all I've got to do is the rear and the top of that, and then that rear bumper, which is a bit tricky, that tailgate. And then that's the painted part. So I'll leave that for a couple more days. But you can, you know, it's been cut and polished at the body shop. So this is really just a soft finishing polish almost, and it will just make sure there's no little holograms or, like I say, any sandy marks. But the quality of the work's really good, actually. So worried about the car going off, but this place, they just do good work. So yeah, it's great. So really pleased to have the car back. Once I finish polishing it, I'll seal it all up. I'll give the glass a quick clean. That PPF on there is due to come off. I will also just bust out the metal polish and get the rim done, dress the tyres, and then the car will be like really nice and I won't want to drive it. I won't want to take it out for the rest of the summer after that. And after it getting bashed, so I took it out, it got bashed, got it back in, had it all repainted, and now I don't want to take it out again, but there we go, it's part of the curse. So yeah, really this video is just to say, I think this is a good little inspection torch as well, but you could use any really. I mean, people are going to disagree. This is a good inspection torch. I've had this a long time. That thing can fall off it, but I glued it back on, it's been fine. For the money, this is a solid workshop kind of tool that is handy because that magnetic base. So that's kind of everything I've got there. Said I got into the habit of putting this tool back. Stay organised, John. So I'll brush off those pads now and then carry on with the rear quarter over there and get that done. I'll just switch that bit of tape back up to the top, and yeah, that's right. I've done that, and now that. So now it's that, done for the day. How long is that going to take? 2 minutes a set, 1 minute in between, 3 minutes a set, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, about another half an hour roughly and I'll be done. Okay guys, thanks for tuning in. Could you do this with one polisher, a DA8, and still tape up and do a great job? Absolutely, you could. A DA9, sorry, like that machine there, that could do it. Or could you use a free spinning Rupes machine? Could it be corded? Yes. Do you need the nano tool? No, you can get by without it. But I was just using these tools and I was just thinking these tools are pretty incredible. These are all been updated now, I think. Aren't there new versions coming or something? I don't know. The Flex dropped their price on a lot of their tools. I think I don't know if the battery platform will always be 18 volt here, I think. So that 21 volt is an American standard, but I think they revised the tools in America, and I don't know if we drew a revision of these tools. There's not much wrong with this tool to revise, in my opinion, or that one really. These three tools are good. I don't know what the word on the street on this tool is, but it's a really powerful little machine, and now I'm used to the ergonomics of it. I really like it. I think some people don't like this trigger. I don't have a problem with that trigger, but I think, yes, if you could just set the speed and then go boom, oh, I didn't mean that to come on, and then go push down on something and then click it on, so you haven't got to keep your hand on it. I think that might be better. Like just like a latch, a really easy dug latch. And also I think if they had that latch, so you could set the tool down like I am there and it just be a little bit more stable. That would be my wishes if there's ever a revision of this tool, because you can stand it like that, but it's okay on a perfect bench, but it's not so good on a workshop. So that's the only thing with that, is how you set it down. But you do get used to whatever tools you're kind of using. They've all got their pros and cons. You could argue, some of you guys say that all of these batteries should be rubberized, you know, so that they don't bash against the paintwork of the car. Yeah, I've never done that. I've never done that, but sooner or later I probably will do it. And I get it, and I kind of agree. Maybe if anyone brings out like a rubber case, but then you'd have to get hundreds of them for each of your batteries. So I don't know on that. Yeah, interesting one. Interesting one. Some company, someone will come out with it like a cradle that you could pop on the bottom, and it will just pop off, and it just covers that square so that it reduces the risk of these four corners, which are the extreme angle catching. And when someone comes out with it, Flex will look at it and go, "Ooh, that's a good idea." That's a good idea. A bit like this thing. Stubby nozzle. This stubby nozzle with a little rubber thing on it, so you've got more control, makes this leaf blower a brilliant blower. So you could argue Flex should be doing this. It's a great little add-on. Yeah. Yeah, and that comes with, you know, that comes with people looking to use their tools. That might not be a specific detailing tool, but it's a thing. So you've got to, if you understand your market, you can benefit from that. Yeah, because a lot of people buying these are buying them to dry cars, because we're obsessed. Once this is polished, I may look at like the subject matter of air drying my car. I probably won't ever do that, because you always need a bit of toweling. But I may change how I do it. And I don't know, actually, I don't know. You're going to getting ridiculous with these cars. You know, you got to drive them. This car will end up becoming like something that will just be like a show car. You've seen some of those show cars. Those guys that have show cars are the pinnacle of all of this. They are the embodiment of detailing, where they get the cars perfect and they take them to a show. But the problem is, I'm not sure if I want to be that guy, because it's a lot of work, and ultimately they're cars. You know, we're not around forever. The cars are not around forever. So I think the best you can probably do is drive them, and not be too worried. Just try and get into that 10-meter headspace rather than that, you know, looking at it, everything from close up under spotlights. You've got to get out of that headspace, or else you'll just get driven mad. So I've got to try and get out of that headspace with this car and just take the approach. It's a lovely looking car. Just drive it. Don't worry about it. If it gets damaged, give it to the paint shop, and they've got it here once. Whatever happens to it, they can do that again, and they can do it properly. So if I damage the rear quarter, they'll know how to approach that to paint it so that I can't see it. You know, I don't want blends and like tape lines. I want it always done properly with this kind of car. Other cars, I want it all done on the cheap. Yeah, this car, I always just want it done properly because it's lovely. So there we go. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you had a good day, and I'll see you all soon on the Forensics Detailing channel. So this is about being organised, the right tool for the job, and spending the amount of time that you feel is appropriate for what you're looking to achieve. Let me know your thoughts.